Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes.
So ideally, if you want to speak about the Hindu calendar and all in detail, it will take a workshop or an entire session in itself. Okay, one can do a whole workshop on just the understanding of what is Panchang. Why is it called Panchang? So I am in no position right now to give you all the details. What I'm going to tell you is very brief idea of some basic terms that we see in a Panchang or what is Hindu calendar. That's all. Okay. First of all, the word panchang. Okay. What is it? What is the word panch? At least everybody understands it. Hindi mein panch matlab everyone knows is 5. So panchang means there's panch anga. There are 5 elements or aspects to it. Okay. That is called panchang. So what are those 5 aspects of a panchang? Okay. I'll just tell you the names. Some of them are easy to understand. Okay. The last 2 I have not expanded because to explain that is going to take a lot of time. So therefore, I'm just leaving it with the names. First is called as Tithi, which I will tell you what it is very soon. It depends on the phase of the moon. Second is called Vara, which is the day of the week, which everybody knows. Utna to pata hai. Somvar, Mangalwar, Budhwar. Aaj kaun sa var hai? Can anyone tell what is today's var? Which var is it today? Which Shanivar? No, Baba, it is not yet Shanivar. Ravivar. Oh. Because sun, we are saying the Ravivar. Shukravar, at least few people. Mangalwar, Guruvar, all these days of the week are coming here. Baba, I thought this would be very obvious. I don't need to explain anything. Baba, condition काफी खराब है. Okay, so it is Shukravar. Okay, I think that I am not going to explain that. Please read basics. At least 7 days of the week you should know in our Indian languages. Anyway, so that is the day of the week. Then Nakshatra is what is called as a lunar mansion. I'll tell what that is very soon. And there is Yoga and Karana, which, as I said, I'm not going to attempt to explain today. But these 5 things or 5 aspects are given or codified together in what is called as a Panchang. Okay. So let me first quickly explain that this Panchang is basically the overall Hindu calendar. What is it broadly? So again, there are 12 months of a Hindu calendar like any other calendar. And those names are given here in the second column here. Chaitra, Vaishak, Jeshta, Ashad, Shravan, Bhadrapad, Ashwin, Kartik, Margashirsh, Paush, Magh, and Falgun. Okay. So these months with the correlation with the months need not be always the same. It's just given for rough understanding. It's not always that Margashirsh, Paush is. For example, right now, we are in Jan, but it's not, but it's still just Paush which is going on. So it's not like, it's not exact correlation, but just for a rough idea where those months are being corresponding to the English months, roughly. That's how it is given there. And we also have 6 seasons. Okay, so 6 seasons are given as Vasanta, which is spring. Then you have Grishma, which is summer. Varsha, which is like the the rainy season. Then you have the Sharad Ritu, which is autumn. Then Hemanta is kind of the beginning of the winter, and then Shishira, which is between winter and spring. That part over there. So these are the 6 seasons and 12 months of the Hindu calendar. Now, our Hindu calendar, they are very interesting because they follow 2 different sets of the main 2 things that you can see in the sky are what? Anybody who can look in the sky, what are the main 2 so-called heavenly bodies that you can see? Sun and the moon. Yes, stars are there, no doubt. They will play a role in the next point, but sun and the moon are the basics, right? So all over the world, whoever are the astronomers, whoever created the calendars, everybody used different references. Some went with the moon, some went with the sun. Indian calendar is what is called as a lunisolar calendar. Okay, we took both. We said, 2 things are there, ek kyun lene ka? Dono lene ka. So we have both those things incorporated into our calendar. Our months are running with the moon, no doubt, mostly. Although there are some exceptions, even within India, different traditions have different follows the purely sun also, but we also take into account both these movements together. So as Sapnaji explained at the start, this is a solar event. Okay, Makar Sankranti is a solar event. It is based on the movement of the sun. Since the Gregorian calendar also follows the sun, both the calendars following the same heavenly body, hence the date is the same. Okay, whereas most of our other Hindu festivals are based on the lunar calendar, and there's a small difference between a lunar month and a solar month. Okay, 62 lunar months equals 60 solar months. So it's a calculation there, and because of that, there's a slight difference in the days when the other festivals usually come as per the Gregorian calendar, which is a solar calendar. Okay, simple. Those which are following the sun will have the same date as per solar calendar. Those which are following the moon will have the same date as per lunar calendar. That's the simple idea. But because Indian festivals generally follow lunar calendar, their dates fluctuates a little bit here and there with regard to the Gregorian, which is a solar calendar. That's very briefly explaining it. Further, now what are tithis? Tithis basically are the lunar days. Okay, so this is just a beautiful figure that explains it. So it starts off from Amavasya, you have the waxing phase of the moon till you have Purnima. Then from Purnima, you have again the waning phase of the moon back to Amavasya. And everything is, there are 15 days from one to the other. So this tithi is a division. Okay, it's actually 12 degrees of how much so I'm not going into those detailed technicalities, but that's exactly how the tithis are defined. Yeah, 14 days, correct. If you are not counting, like if you start from Amavasya to Purnima, Purnima is the 15th day, like that. So basically the tithis are Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami, Navami, Dashami, Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Trayoddashi, Chaturdashi, and the next one, whichever is either it is Purnima or it is Amavasya. So this is how the basic tithis are moving. Okay, so from one point to the other. So this is what is tithi? Tithi is basically like equivalent to a day. Okay. Next we come to nakshatra. Now nakshatra is a little bit more complicated, but understand this, that if you sit on earth and you look at the sky, the entire horizon that you see is divided into 12 parts. Okay, because you need some way to understand, right? To differentiate one part of the sky from another part. So astronomers all over the world, they have divided, generally they found 12 as a very good number because 360 degrees, right? So it's easily divisible by 12. So 12 major segments of the whole horizon, which is called as constellation, based on the constellations, which are called as rashis. Now every constellation includes a set of stars, right? So a few stars were picked out to kind of represent that particular constellation. Now those stars are called as nakshatra. Okay. Now here is where the Indian calendar is at. Now ab tak sun kar rahe the na, ab hum moon ka movement dekhenge. So as the moon moves across the sky, depending on which nakshatra it is closest to on a particular day, that is considered as the nakshatra of the day, star of the day, kind of. Okay, the star of the day is whichever star is closest to moon on that day, that is the star of the day. Now, as the moon moves and it gets closer to another star, that is the star of the day. So the star of the day keeps changing as per the movement of the moon. Imagine how much they have tracked all this. Okay, you sit and just look at the sky. हमको तो देखते तारे दिखते नहीं है, मतलब हमारे city life में अगर देखेंगे तो भी हमको सब same ही लगता है. But there's a lot of effort people have put to understand the stars and identify them and see the movement of the moon, which is close, which is far, without even, and remember, these have been in place since more than 5,000 years ago. Okay, so no telescope and all. Just through naked eyes, people have been able to map the entire sky. That is the wonderful thing here. So you understood what is nakshatra, right? Nakshatra is where the moon is, near which part of the sky the moon is nakshatra. Tithi is which phase of the moon is, that is tithi. And Shukla Paksha is the 15, because the tithis are the same, right? So to differentiate between waxing and waning, the growing moon is called Shukla Paksha, the waning moon is called as the Krishna Paksha. Okay. So now one last point before I can complete my point, which is why is this Hindu calendar more scientific? So I've given a link here, I put it on the chat also. You can read more in detail about this very beautiful article about what is more special. But understand is that this calendar, as I said, has been in existence for more than 5,000 years. It is accounting both for solar and lunar movements. It is self-correcting. I told you, right? 62 lunar months is 60 solar months. Then how come we don't always see continuously Diwali changing? That doesn't happen, right? Because they know that. So every 2.5 years, one extra month is added called Adhik Mas. So that, this balance is maintained. That's why you'll see that our festivals shift and then they're back. Well, October se Diwali, November tak khisak ke jata hai, then back it comes to October. Because of this self-correcting mechanism. That is not there in some calendars. Islamic calendar has no such correction. Okay, they also follow a similar lunar kind of thing, but they don't have it. That's why you see Eid is happening, comes every time. There's no fixed time when Eid happens. Eid happens any time of the year. Because there is no self-correction mechanism. It just keeps changing. And that is one thing. Second is there are no arbitrary changes. Everything is measured and done as per requirement. If you see the history of the Gregorian calendar, it is terrible. Okay. There's been law, like, one point, at one time, Julius Caesar had 446 days in a year. Because इतना सारा बैकलॉग हो गया था because of incorrect calculation, खत्म करना था कभी, तो एक दिन उन्होंने बोला कि हम ये साल में 446 days रखेंगे. It was called a year of confusion. कुछ तो नाम भी है in Roman. It's called the year of confusion. They said 446 days, 1 year. And then there were so many more confusions about how New Year was changed arbitrarily. And suddenly when Gregory started the calendar, initially he said that there are a lot of Catholic faith involved. Okay, he's a pope. Gregory is basically a pope. So he also had a lot of Catholic faith involved. So he insisted that whatever was decided as the day of when Jesus apparently came back, that should be a Sunday. So even if it was not a Sunday, he said, "Isko Sunday karna hai." Then people said, "Aisa karenge to sab kuch hil jayega." So then a lot of things happened, and then said, "ठीक है, we will decide one Sunday, and that we will call it Easter." Okay? So like that, lot of similarly New Year also arbitrarily shifted, which was New Year was based on close to the equinox. Equinox happens on 21st March. So near that was where the New Year used to happen. Arbitrarily shifted to 1st of January. When nothing happens on 1st of January. There's nothing happening in the universe on 1st of January, which is different from 31st of January, 31st of December. But Manaliya New Year. So the Gregorian calendar is highly arbitrary. And just I'll leave you with one question. Okay. Generally, what is the 8-sided figure called? 8-sided figure, what is it called? Those who are maths, octagon, right? 9-sided figure is called a nonodecagon, right? A 10-sided figure is called a decagon, right? Octa, no, deca, hepta. Hepta is 7-sided. These indicate 7, 8, 9, 10, right? October, November, and December should ideally have been which months? 8th month, 9th month, and 10th month, right? September also, hepta is 7. So September should have been 7th month, right? How come they are 9, 10, 11, 12? Find out. And you will know how arbitrary the Gregorian calendar is. It is unfortunately because colonialism spread and everybody was imposed this calendar. That's why we follow it. But one must never forget the glory of the actual scientific calendar that we have been handed over by our tradition. Okay. So that little bit of just information, tidbits, I will stop now.